Welcome to Boston Intuitive's Facebook Live program, which we do every Wednesday night. And I'm going to be covering the hero's journey through the Major Arcana tonight. It's going to be a 4-part series. And tonight I'll be introducing the structure and just some information about what the hero's journey is. And then I'll be followed by mini readings again. Tonight, I'm going to be going into, I usually do the moon, where the new moon is or the full moon is, and the effect that it has on us. And I'm going to forgo that tonight just so that I can make sure that I get through everything that is on my agenda. So hello to everybody, and thank you for bearing with me. I'm sorry about the last minute cancellation last week, but I had an emergency that happened, and so I am grateful that you all understand that, and I got a lot of nice comments from people, and yes, everything actually worked out. It's an interesting experience to be in the emergency room during these times, because even in Massachusetts, where the vaccination rates are very high, we still have a pretty full ICU, and yeah, I guess it's impacting us everywhere in the United States. So I hope you guys are all staying safe and taking care of yourselves. And I'm an advocate of vaccination. So if you haven't gotten your vaccination, I would encourage you to do that. So let me just say hello to a few of you that have hopped on already. Hello, Vivian and Rick and Jacqueline, Jennifer, Zoe, Venetia, Shanice. Hi, Shanice. And for those of you who are new tonight, let me just explain to you how this program goes. I usually separate it into 2 parts. There is the spiritual topic, and then there is, in the second half, I do mini readings. When we're doing the spiritual topic, we use the chat room for that. So I also use the chat room in the second half when we do the mini readings. So just know that we use the chat room extensively during the first half. So if you want to ask me a personal question, you do actually have to wait until the second half before you post it. So if you post it before then, you will just have to do it a second time. So just so that you're aware. It's usually with mini readings, it's first come, first serve. So yes, as I said, I don't take those in advance. We also, you get 1 question, and it's anything that I can answer in 2 minutes. So don't ask me about, the health of your family, just something that's short. Also, wait until I say go, and that will be when you can post your question. I will be stopping. I always threaten to do this. I will be stopping for commercial breaks now and then, just so that people that have recently hopped on will know kind of where we're at, and I can give them some instructions. So I do that usually once or twice, other than just in the beginning. Also, to let you know, it's my responsibility to take care of something that's called phishing. And phishing is when somebody is lurking around in the chat box, and they're not really here to be part of the program. They may be soliciting you. So if you want, you can delete them. chase them away, whatever it takes. You know, sometimes we're really lucky and we don't have any of that going on, and then sometimes we get inundated, but hopefully we'll get lucky tonight. And let's see. I think I've kind of covered all of this. I will be doing mini readings tonight, and I'm going to be using, again, the Rider-Waite deck. I do want to stop and mention that my classes start next week. They start on Thursday night. It's going to be on Zoom. The way you can register is to go to Eventbrite. I will post a link. I meant to get that link ready to post here, but I will post the link. It's on my page already, my Boston Intuitive page. And there is, it's month by month. We start off doing the Minor Arcana. It's very extensive. If you want to learn the tarot, it'll tell you everything A to Z. So we start off Minor Arcana, Major Arcana, and then symbolism, and then we'll do, I think, numerology and then astrology. So there's 5 months of classes. There's 4 weeks each month. You can sign up for the whole thing, or you can sign up for 1 month at a time. So, and because I am starting these classes, I am going to have to reduce my schedule with doing Facebook Live. So instead of doing every week, I'm going to be going down to every other week. So I love doing these programs, and I am just aware of what my limitations are, and I am not the best juggler. So just to keep everything, you know, in a nice flow, I am going to be going down to every other Wednesday. So we'll do this program tonight, and then the next show will be on Wednesday, September 15th, and then the next program after that will be September 19th. And excuse me, September 29th, sorry. So, and we'll see how that goes, and see if we'll just see how that goes, see if that works out. So, I think we're just about ready to get started. I'm going to read through all the comments before I get going here. And all right, so let's see. Excuse me while I do this, because the, there we go. I kind of can see through these glasses. They're new glasses. I can't see great through them. Okay, so, oh yes, and everybody, please hit the like button if you enjoy this information tonight. It does help me with being more visible. The more likes I have, the more visible I am, so that new people can find me. All right, so I already started. Okay, Lisa, hello. Shanice. Shanice wanted to know if anybody lost connection. I'm still going, so I didn't. You can let me know if people are having trouble with the connection. This looks awful, doesn't it? I was going to say maybe I should put on. I just, you know what? I'm just having. I just need to do this. Sorry. Hello, Keith. Hi, Vivian. Thank you for comments about my hair. Rhonda, hello. Let's see, Jamie. Oh, thank you she's giving me a good comment about a reading. Oh my God, I love her hair. Oh, thank you. Melta, hello. Rick, okay, Zoe. Okay, yours froze on you a couple of times. You know, I do want to tell you that the weather here, it's raining pretty heavily, so that might be affecting it might be affecting it tonight. I'm not sure. So, so here we go with the hero's journey. And the thing that is really, I find very fascinating about the hero's journey is that it is much larger than just the tarot. It's actually, the hero's journey is a concept that was, I won't say that it was created by Joseph Campbell, but he certainly studied mythology. He studied heroes and legends in different cultures, actually most world cultures, and he found that there were common elements for the hero's journey in across all cultures, and so it's not only world world cultures, but it's also things like Star Wars has a hero's journey, Harry Potter, in fact, most movies, and it is a lot of writers use the hero's journey as their, format, and so it's much bigger than just the major arcana. The major arcana, though, does have all the elements that are identified in Joseph Campbell's work. So they don't neatly fit together. And a little bit later, I am going to use some graphics, and I'll be showing you, the different stages of the hero's journey. But it's a good way of understanding. It's a good way of understanding just what our own life path is, and because we are actually the hero of our own soul's journey, and the journey is transformation. It's from the Fool is almost like a baby at birth. It's the state of the soul that is common for all of us. And it is the transformation, the stages of transformation that we all go through. It's self-actualization. It's our life path. It's actually our calling. And so it is our path to wholeness. So it's our life purpose. So it's quite a profound thing to understand. And this is what the major arcana is. And what there's a lot of very interesting things. As I was doing my research here, we actually talked about this deck called the Solabusca that is a 78 card tarot deck from Italy. It was created in 1491, and it is also the very first deck where they illustrated the minor arcana. But that particular deck was also a hero's journey, and it was not only, like mythology. The major arcana is based on mythology, but it was also the Holy Roman Empire, kind of the rise and fall of the Holy Roman Empire. So that the major arcana is the hero's journey goes all the way back to 1491 to the original 78 card tarot deck. So the journey is from naivete, the soul going from naivete to wisdom. And so Dr. Joseph Campbell was a professor of literature, and he was also the foremost expert on world mythologies. And what he did is he compared the stories, legends, mythology, fairy tales of all the world cultures, and then he came up with the common elements. So let's see. For the tarot, the hero's journey is kind of like the reality behind the reality. So you have what's going on the surface, and then the tarot explains what's going on, like really below the surface. And it really, the tarot helps us uncover like what we're here to do, you know, why we're on the planet. Now you can use the tarot for the soul's journey, but you can also use it, you know, you can kind of drill down and use it for, let's say, a love life question, or or a career question. So as you are reading tarot for people, you have, I'm going to say you have storylines that are going on simultaneously. You can have, let's say you can have the World card, which is a completion of a journey with career. And you can also, at the same time, have one of the beginning cards like the Empress or the Magician towards, let's say, relationship. So you have all these things, you have potentially the Major Arcana cards, you have all different journeys that are going on simultaneously. So you have the major journey, the soul's journey through life, and then you have, you know, specific targeted areas in our life. So now, why does studying the hero's journey help you with the tarot? Well, it is a tool for self-awareness, and it provides insights into what's going on in your life in, you know, like a larger spiritual context. So it gives you insights into yourself, but also life situations or life events that are going on. And so it can give you context. And also, when you're pulling cards for someone or reading someone's cards, either for yourself or someone else, it can tell you on any question if they're at the beginning, the middle, or the end of that particular, I'll say, journey for that question. Again, it could be, you know, relationship, it could be career, it could be family, it could be, you know, your emotional life. So the tarot is a roadmap for navigating your life path and your soul's purpose, reaching your soul's purpose. So it begins as a calling. It's a quest. You know, the Fool is going on a new adventure, heading off into the unknown, something unfamiliar. And as the Fool or the soul or the hero is going on the journey, it's marked by milestones. So each of the Major Arcana cards is an archetype, and it is either describes an individual, a mentor, a teacher, a helper, or it talks about events and yes, life events, life experiences that are common to all of us. You know, it's like a universal experiences that our soul goes through to mature. So the hero goes through trials and tribulations and, you know, tests that require courage and determination. And so we are going to go into now just how things are broken down into the different categories. So let me just read any of the new comments here. Let's see. So I just have to go back a bit. All right. So Keith, hello. Jennifer, Rhonda, Jamie. Okay. Zoe, Jamie again. Jerry. Hi, Jerry. Good evening, Jacqueline, Lauren, and Erica. Okay. So I am now again. Remember that I said that I'm using Joseph. I'm using a variety of different sources, and Joseph Campbell, because he is so well known in the area of the hero's journey, I've drawn heavily from him. But all of these things don't neatly fall into, okay, this is there's 4 different categories. We have like childhood, personality development, transformation, and then rebirth and wholeness. Those are like the 4. Those are the 4 categories, and then the Major Arcana cards are all divided into those categories. So there's a middle stage of middle grouping that I'm just not quite sure of the middle 2 how they all fall together, but as we go over the next programs that I'm doing, I'll have that all. I think I'll have that all sorted out. So here is. I'm going to need a little bit of help with just letting me know how this looks. I'm going to expand this. Okay. So let me know can you see this whole, can you see the whole graphic? Oh, because I can't tell on my, all right. So let me just see. I am just, oh, thank you, Carolyn. Maria, hello. So can you let me know, can you see the whole graphic? Is there enough light? So this is the hero's journey. Whoops. I just can't tell. Let's see. Okay, it's small. All right. Let me see. See, I did this on Zoom earlier, and I was able to. Let's see, maybe I can get this bigger. Hold on just a second. Nope, that made it smaller. All right. Sorry about this, everyone. Okay. And let's see. Let's see if I can get a little bit more light on this too. All right. How does that look? Is that bigger? Can you see? All right. It's small, but can't read it. Okay. All right. So I think putting the light on it helped. All right. So let me. Whoops, sorry. One day I will I will figure this out. All right. So, all right. All right. So, we have the Fool. And the first thing that happens is there is a call to adventure. And this is the soul is being challenged to change. So it could be a new experience. It's definitely something that's unknown. And usually, now this is, again, part of the Joseph Campbell hero journey. There's a refusal of the call. There's usually, a hesitancy. So a reluctance to change, fear of the unknown. And then the very next thing is that there are mentors and helpers that encourage the Fool to take a chance, so you have the Fool is poised on the edge of the cliff there, and it's a big leap of faith, it's kind of like jumping off into the abyss, the unknown. So there are mentors and helpers along the way in the very beginning. And so that is considered the childhood stage. And I do have more graphics. I'm going to break that down for you. So I'll be showing you the full range of tarot cards that go with each stage. So you have the mentors and assistants who are imparting their wisdom. And then you have the Fool is committing to making a change, committing to move on. And then we have all the tests and trials and tribulations as the Fool is learning and maturing. And so the Fool goes through these different tests, but isn't emotionally changing yet. There's another stage where he's actually preparing to change emotionally and having to do the internal work. But then there is more acknowledging, what is this change that I'm experiencing? What do I have to face? Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it involves suffering. And when you do make a change, there are consequences. There's sort of a ripple effect through your life. Let's say that you make a change where you are deciding that you are going to go all the way with your career. And so emotionally, you start to get more disciplined. You might get more professional. You might go through an image change. You might decide that you need, different mentors. You might decide you need to have different associations. So there's a confronting of the changes that you have to make, and then what the consequences of that attempt are. So, you may be, changing friends. You may be, you may so So we have understanding the consequences of a change, and then either rededicating yourself to change or letting it go. The last part, step 4, is going to, or I should say, it's not step 4, it's category 4. It's when you gain self-mastery. So you've decided to go ahead and change. You're in the middle of it. You're maturing. You've become more of that new person. You've gained the self-mastery. And, you know, whether it is an area of your life or it's a problem, the last grouping of tarot cards is about gaining mastery of the problem. And then it cycles around and you start like a whole new journey. So the soul is at a new place, and you know, if you are, let's say, again, it's career related, maybe you're on a new rung of the ladder. And so the whole journey starts all over again. Okay, so this is the journey. And so here is how it's broken down. Here's how the Major Arcana cards are broken down. Oops. Okay. So here, oops, I'm gonna put this over here. So, all right. So this is the first grouping of Major Arcana cards. And these are all, you know, in sequence. So here are the mentors. You have the Magician and the High Priestess, and they are considered like your spiritual parents. And then you have the Empress and the Emperor, and they are considered your material world parents. And so they have different things that they can teach you. And then you move on to the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is actually education. It's also organized religion, like traditional kinds of religion. So these are all things in terms of the soul's development, things that you encounter along the way. And then we have the Lover's card, which is making the decision. The Fool actually makes the decision that it's going to change, that it's going to move on, that it's not going to be status quo. So this is the first grouping. So the second grouping, whoops, this is where the soul is, it is becoming an individual. It's becoming unique. It's going through, you know, the normal kind of maturing through having experiences in life. So the Chariot kind of signals moving forward. So that's momentum. And then the soul will have experiences, you know, that require courage and strength. It will require or has experiences where there is reflection. You know, the Hermit is a soul search. The Wheel of Fortune is cycles. So it is, all the different seasons of life, to everything there is a season, turn, turn, turn. And then you have the Justice card, which is learning about injustices in life, things that are fair, how life can be unfair. And then you have the Hanged Man, where things are kind of hung up for a while. And you're synthesizing everything. So all of these cards are helping the soul mature into adulthood. So if you were reading cards for a person, and let's say that let's pick one of those. We'll pick the Hermit. So if that shows up, that really is telling that individual that it's time to put everything on pause and go inside, do some inner work. A soul, and it's also a very solitary card, where nobody can do that for you. So that is the second grouping. Let's see. Okay, so here is the next grouping. So here the soul is having the kinds of experiences now that are causing it to change, or causing change. Whoops. So this is a very powerful set of cards, because this is where the, excuse me. Because this is where there's really dramatic changes. And this is where, you're deciding to change, or letting it go, like throughout the soul's journey, there are trials and tribulations. And so, there are, sorry, excuse me just a minute. I'm going to stand for this. So when you have the Death card, that would be something in your life where there's total transformation and change. So it's not something little, it's something big. And, it can be sort of a death of innocence. And then we have, I believe that's the Temperance card. And that's making modifications. It's emotionally tempering yourself so that you're not being impulsive. The Devil card, So the Devil card can represent fears. It can be, trying to think of devil experiences. It can be evil. It can be people's base instincts. And then you have the Tower card, which is a complete total upheaval. It can be upheaval of a way of life. It can It can be a change that is dramatic, like a move. And then when you get to the Star card, that's healing. So the preceding cards can be like a roller coaster ride. And then when you get to the Star card, it's sort of a smoothing of things over. It's an integration. And then the Moon is actually, it still is a, it is, I'm just trying to think of an example here for initiation and transformation. It's disillusionment. It can also be an addictions card. But when you get to the Moon card, it's not a, the disillusionment is not something small. It's, you know, like it's a major live event. It's not, it's just, all of these are representing the soul going through some major transformational experiences. So these are not like minor arcana kind of changes. You know, these are I'm just going to say this is what transformation is all about, having these really heavy duty experiences, and who are you on the other side of it? You know, how did, you know, that experience with the Tower card where everything went into upheaval, how did you come out of that emotionally? You know, how did that change you? So this is this is the third category of cards. And then finally you have, these last cards, this last set. And then this represents the soul achieving its goal of transformation and wholeness. So understanding your life purpose, or understanding the, if it's a narrower journey, like a career or say family, it is the outcome that you desired, reaching that outcome. So these are completions. This is also the stage where you go back to, it's a completion, and then you start all over again with the Fool. So this is having gained self-mastery. So these are the various categories of the soul's journey, or the hero's journey. And we're going to be going through card by card. And we don't need this, I don't think. Okay. So I want to read through the comments and see what you're thinking here, Marianne. Oh, good. Lisa, is the Death card like the end of a cycle or something, and then rebirth or something else? So the Death card, so the Death card is transformation. And so that's the beginning. Let me just pull this back over here. So that's the beginning of the soul integrating that whatever the experience was, that complete and totally changes. It can change values. It can change you emotionally. You might have an experience that, let's say if it's a negative experience and you have the death card, it could mean that you completely shut down because of that, whatever that life experience was. I'm going to keep bringing this back to career because I think people can relate to career. Let's say what might cause transformation with career. Let's say you're, let's say COVID. And there's been a complete total change for most people with their careers with COVID. Now, some people are untouched, but some companies closed. Let's say if you were in the restaurant industry, you may have gone out of business. Or you may have survived, and now the transformation is, you can have half the number of people at in your restaurant at the same time, and so you are in a completely new level of profitability. So transformation is more than just like a spiritual transformation. There's a material world transformation too. So, transformation usually means you're not ever going to go back to the way things used to be. All right. Okay. So let's see. So that was Lisa. And so Shanice says that she pulled cards last night and got both the Death and the Moon cards. So the Death and the Moon cards would be, so a complete total transformation in some aspect of your life. Now, so we have there's microcosm and macrocosm. Macrocosm is your soul's journey, but it's the big picture. It's everything. It's why did your soul incarnate? What are you here to do? So that's the big picture. And then you have also, it can be more targeted, so, like I said, career, family, relationship. So you could have the Death card when it comes to career, but you could have family. You could have something like the Empress card, which is abundance and beauty and nature and love. So you can have these journeys going on simultaneously. All right. Janet, I can never get too much information on these cards. I'm kind of the same with you. There's a lot of information on the hero's journey if you want to study it further. Yes, there's a lot of information, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of books. So let's see what else we have. So Janet, hoping it's a sign that my mind's eye is opening. Big awakening. Okay. You know what? That might be a good thing to ask in the second half, where we're going into questions. So I am going to back up a little bit. I'm going to go into, just because of the time constraints we have, I'm going to go into the Fool, but before I do that, I'm going to see if you have any questions so far. We've taken a few questions, and then I'm going to talk about the Fool. And because the Fool represents the hero, you can think of it as the hero's journey is the Fool's journey is the soul's journey. And what you can think of as the Fool is that is the state of our souls as we enter this life, as we are being born. The state of our soul is represented by the Fool card. And then as the Fool has no frame of reference. It is pure innocence. And that's where the hero starts, with no frame of reference. And, often heroes are not, they're not, they're ordinary people. Heroes from the past, they can be, a poor man from a village. It's the hero doesn't start off with extraordinary skills and magical talents. The hero starts off as all of us start off. We're kind of like a blank screen, and we take leaps of faith, and we have our trials and tribulations, and we make mistakes, and we go forward and backwards, and it's a very uneven sort of journey. All right, so let me just see if there's any questions. And when the hanged man keeps showing up, what's that saying along with the Fool and the Death card? Well, Carol, so there isn't any, I'm going to say there's no one meaning for those cards in combination. It has to be specific to, like, what is the question that you're asking? And if the hanged man keeps showing up, that's usually whatever the question is, or the event that's being examined, that situation is hung up. It's on pause. There's a break in the action. There's a, for continuity, there's just sort of a break. There's things are at a standstill. So the combination of cards could mean different. Yeah, there is no one explanation for that combination of cards. So, the Fool card is usually a whole new beginning. It's a major new beginning. And what else? My thing just, what happened? All right. Sorry. Oh, wait, there it is. Okay. So the Fool card is new beginnings, and the Death is complete total transformation. Occasionally it'll mean a death. Okay, what if you pull cards and they are either all major or minor arcana? What are they trying to say? If you pull, Lisa, if you pull cards that are all major arcana cards, then it means that you're in a very, the question that's being asked, or the issue is of utmost importance. And if they're minor arcana cards, it's all minor arcana cards, it's more like the details. It's not profound. It's almost like it's everyday sort of everyday circumstances. So, but the major arcana cards mean right now, and they usually mean there's something major that's going on. Major arcana, major. Yeah, so there's a lot of emphasis. It's usually something profound is happening. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of information on the Fool. Let's see. So now on the soul's journey, actually you back this one out because of the archetypes of the experiences the Fool is going to have. He is the thread that he encounters all the other cards. So so this is the let's say the soul at birth, and he's full of expectation and enthusiasm, and in terms of Arthur Waite, he explained this card as a spirit in search of experience. So he's the Fool is pure optimism and represents ultimate potential. And this soul has no preconceived ideas of what's going to happen on the journey, that they're about to embark on. The experiences the Fool has really teaches us who we are. The journey that we go on, it actually shapes us. It shapes us emotionally. And each day brings opportunity and challenges. And the Fool, because it has no preconceived ideas, it meets life experiences head on. So it doesn't run away. So it looks forward. The soul looks forward to meeting mentors and having advice and guidance. The Fool is full of dreams and expectations. Doesn't think about danger, hasn't had any experiences of danger. And the Fool is also fearless, curious. The Fool is like unmolded clay. And the Fool is also kind of like the breath of life. It's sort of like the animating principle, so it is, if the body didn't have the breath of life, it would just, if it was born, it would be stillborn if it didn't have the breath of life. So this is pure energy, animation, and the beginning of the life cycle. So let's see what we have here. So Lisa says, what if you pull cards and they are either all, okay, we did that. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is, so here, so here we have the Fool card, and the Fool, the first mentor the Fool encounters is the Magician. So the Magician is someone who this is consciousness. It's like consciousness that's awakened. And the Magician is like a problem solver. The Magician is somebody who takes action. And as you can see on the table here, he's got all his tools in order to solve problems. The Magician represents self-mastery. It represents, being in charge of your thoughts and emotions. Now, the Magician is thought of as the spiritual father, like the Empress is thought of as the spiritual mother. Now, the magician, you know, this Lescart, I actually have Lemniscati is what it's called. So that is energy that just, it's like infinite amount of energy. It's also the eternal flow of energy in life. Again, kind of the animating principle. This card represents the inner world. And the elements on his table are all the Minor Arcana cards. You know, so you have the cups, the pentacles, swords, and wands. Now, you can see he's got this baton in his hand, and he's got one hand lifted up to the heavens, and he's got the other hand pointing to the earth. And so he's sort of this channel for energy, bringing down what's above. What is it? What is above, so below? Yeah, I'm not sure what that saying is. As above, so below. So let's see. So he's bringing like celestial energy down into the earth. This card is also a good communicator and quick-witted and clever. So he's teaching the Fool how to handle himself. Again, self-mastery over emotions, thoughts, and let's see what else. The magician also has divine motives. Again, it's a spiritual card, a spiritual parent. Now, the magician is someone who takes action. Now, the spiritual mother is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess has a different influence on the hero. The High Priestess, instead of taking action, she actually uses intuition. So instead of taking action, she's receptive. And so she, the scroll that she has there, that represents the Fool's life plan, the life path. So it's secret knowledge or spiritual knowledge. Now, Arthur Waite said that he thought that the High Priestess was potentially the most powerful card in the entire tarot deck. And this is because she is, this is divine wisdom. You know, the scroll that she has under her garment there. And so where the High Priestess exists, there's no words, you know, to describe the sensory world that she lives in. She is pure divine energy. She also she's devotional. She, in that scroll, that is like the blueprint of your soul. And it also represents what your life experiences are. So that's all prophetic knowledge. So she's sensual. And so her mentoring of the Fool is about being receptive and intuitive. Listening to your dreams. She is considered the highest and holiest of the Major Arcana. She gives spiritual meaning to your life and to your life experiences. Now, the two pillars on either side represent the masculine and the feminine. You know, the dark side and the light side. She is also, you know, like an animating principle. She represents intuitively knowing who you are. Okay. She's also like the pure feminine. She also is creative. She has good instincts. So she represents to the Fool, to the hero, she is representing listening to yourself, being receptive and open, and being sort of like a blank screen. So the Fool, when he starts off on his journey, he doesn't know about, you know, having self-mastery, you know, self-discipline. He doesn't know about being receptive and open and waiting for information to come to you and make sense of it, as opposed to going out and solving problems like the magician does. All right. So the next one we have is we have the High Priestess and the magician are both spiritual parents. Now, the Empress and the Emperor are the material world parents. And so we'll start off with the Empress here. And so she represents Mother Nature. So everything like wind, rain, the earth, you know, the stars, she represents nature. She also represents abundance, and she's sort of the gateway to the material world because she gives birth. So she gives birth to the soul. And so because she's the gateway, the soul has all its life experiences through the Empress. She also represents the creative process. So art, music, okay. She also is pure femininity. She nourishes the soul. This is also a card that represents self-care. So teaching the soul how to take care of its earthly needs, you know, the physical body. So she represents human life. And she's also voluptuous. She's, we have the sign of Venus there. So that's femininity and love. She represents physical beauty. Okay. So then we have the Emperor, her partner, and the Emperor, where she is creative, the Emperor is more rigid. He's structure. So he is imparting to the Fool, or along the hero's journey, discipline and structure in the material world. You know, how authority, how to get things accomplished in the material world. So whereas the Magician, where do we have, excuse me. So where the Magician is using all of these tools, he's still an intuitive. There's a magical sort of magical spiritual element to him, or characteristic of him, where the Emperor is real world. Very intense. He does represent father. You know, he makes sense of, he orders, he sets order and construction. So he gives structure to humans, and he holds power in the material world. He could be an executive. All right. So those are 4 of the archetypes. Excuse me. Yeah, 4 of the archetypes plus the Fool. And I think we're going to stop there so that I can do a few mini readings. But let me just check and see if we have any questions. If I use a magnifying glass, I can read it. All right. All right, I got it. Lemonscape. Oh, Estrella is telling us how to pronounce lemon skate. So lemon skate. You think of the word lemon and then skate. All right. As above, so below. Thank you. The Empress is beautiful. They're both, I think, both the High Priestess and the... Does the blue robe mean emotion? You know, the blue robe for the Empress, yes, it does mean emotion. It's also intuition. You know, doesn't it look like there's a waterfall there? So it's life force, life energy. But yes, she is the most psychic, intuitive card of the entire tarot deck. Again, you know, Arthur Waite said that she has the potential of being the most powerful of all the tarot cards. Okay. Yes. Hi, Payal. What does the B and J stand for in the columns? These are actually Hebrew letters. I think this is Boaz. I'm not sure what this one means, or what that one stands for. But see how she's in the middle. So this is like duality, and she's in the middle. She's being discerning. You know, she can, yeah, she can go towards this way, or she can go decide this way. Light and dark, excuse me, dark and light, male, female, you know, so this is duality. All right. Empress out of my deck. Yay. Means Boaz and Jacob. Yin and yang. Okay. Thank you, Nancy. Really good. Oh, thank you, Zoe. Thank you for tonight. You will, was it? Okay. So Venetia, almost there. Yep. Okay. You guys are so psychic. Okay. So I am going to get on to reading for you. I'm going to use the Giant Tarot. And again, remember, next week we're going to skip, and then and my classes start next week. So, all right. And if everything seems like it's still functioning well with doing it every other week, we'll just keep it at that. I am open to doing some like special programs, and that gives me a little flexibility to do special topics. Okay, so first we have Venetia. Okay, beloved general card. What do you need to know? Okay. All right, so you have the Hierophant. So I am going to put this down here. Actually, let me do this thing so I can look at your this way I can look at comments at the same time. Okay, so Venetia, you have the Hierophant, which can be a traditional card, like traditional religion, traditional thought. It's also education. So for you personally, okay, I want to say take on something new. Okay, I get you're kind of in between. You're betwixt and between what to do next, and I want to say it's time to learn something new. So this would represent education to you. That's for Venetia and Jacqueline. So you have the King of Cups, the emotional man. Also somebody who is creative and right-brained. So, okay. Okay, I feel like there's a man in your life, Jacqueline, who is not being emotional, that needs to be emotional right now. And I almost feel like he needs you to feel for him. Okay. I don't think this man is letting himself feel anything. So it's almost like he's, you know, he's having you do the express emotions or take on the emotions that he is shut down or refuses to experience. Okay. And I feel like you have to tell this man he needs to feel his feelings. So that's for you, Jacqueline. Maria, what guidance or energy do I need to embrace at this point in my life? Well, isn't this nice partnership? So, I also feel like you're ready to take on more love in your life. So to me, this is like a marriage card, as well as partnership. But you can tell, you know, this couple there is their It's like they're raising their bouquets, like celebration of life, enthusiasm. So I want to say okay, expressing yourself, partnership, and this is also you enjoying yourself. So I want to say go out and have a good time, Maria. So Rick, a general card for the week ahead. Oh, look what you have. So you have the Sun card. So that's happiness. It's also success. And for you personally, you know what I'm hearing is going where you haven't gone before. Going to a new place within yourself. And I also feel this is saying you being happier than you've been in a long time. And so allow yourself to express yourself. And I feel like you're also well put together, Rick. So that's for you. Oh, Vladimir, hi, how are you? This is something great. Thank you. For a general reading. So Zoe. So these are the people who are on my screen. Again, if I miss you, just try again. So you had the completion card, Zoe. So this is everything. I want to say things are coming full circle. I also feel like you, Zoe, you've made the right decision. I do get you moving in a new direction. And you've completed what you set out to complete. And you're on a new trajectory. So that's for you. Payal looks like water. It does. Yes, the High Priestess card, her robe is intentionally meant to look like water. Nancy says she sees the ocean. Again, we're talking about the High Priestess card in her robes. Randy, what message do my guides have for me this week? Randy, you have a conflict card. I want to say, Randy, things are not as they seem. And I want to dig a little bit deeper to figure out what's going on. Okay, there's some kind of a money issue that is going to cause, I want to say competition. Now, at the same time, I'm getting those messages. I also get that things are actually getting easier for you. So we have conflict, we have competition here, but I also feel like things are getting easier for you. So a couple of different messages there, Randy. So Janet, pulling a card for you. All right. So you have, this card is kind of affectionately known as the spy in the camp. So it is a spy card, but it's also communication, and it is being, what is it? Not assertive. Well, it can be being assertive. It's initiating, being proactive. So this is a messenger. Usually the page cards are messengers. They're bringing a message. So for you, Janet, okay. I feel like you're winding down with one decision and winding up with another decision. So, okay. I also feel there's something going on that doesn't go as planned. I feel like I'm crossing my fingers, hoping, I want to say hoping against hope, So this is a proactive card, taking actions proactively. I feel like something doesn't go off as planned. And it might take you by surprise. Okay, so I want to pay attention, maybe pay attention to signs or signals. So if things go haywire for a while, I think something's apt to go haywire for a while. I want to say that it'll be temporary, and you'll get your footing again. You'll get sure-footed again. But this is telling me something's out of balance. All right. So Shanice. Okay. So Shanice, go ahead. Whatever your question is. Vivian. Okay, so Vivian, let's see what we have for you. Oh, so we have the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands, that would be, if you were looking at the astrology of this card, it would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. This is a woman who's very action-oriented, and she also, wands are usually entrepreneurs, so very independent, also energized, and usually the world never spins fast enough, for I'm going to say for a fire sign. This is the element of fire. So let me go, Vivian. Vivian. Okay, and then we have Spirit. That's where my eye went, to Spirit. So I'm wondering, Vivian, do you ever get any sort of random thoughts that are not your thoughts? Because for some reason my eye went to this sunflower, and that represents the spirit world. Sunflowers do. So I'm wondering if you might be getting some spirit communication. So random thoughts, something that you weren't thinking that just sort of pops into your head. You might be getting some spirit communication. Also, this might indicate dreams. Like you might get a visitation from somebody who's crossed over. So I would say keep an open mind and keep your eyes open for that. All right, so that's for Vivian and Payal. So you have, now this is my card that represents competition. And so you can tell this figure is, again, it's wands, so it's action-oriented. It's a fire, the element of fire. And so this figure is valiantly trying to hold somebody off. They're in the arena, they're competing. So for you personally, I feel like you might be taking on too much. I want to slow down, actually. I want to give you a timeout. And I want to say, take a little time off and do something that's just for you. Because I feel like don't do as much as you've been doing lately. It's like I'm on system overload, and Payal, I don't know if it's possible. I don't know, with your work career, if it's possible to take time off or back off a little bit. Okay. I just hear stop. Okay, I just hear stop. All right, so that's for you. Jennifer, for the past, Jennifer, that is a little bit too cryptic for me. So you'll have to be more straightforward in your question. Okay, thank you. So Jennifer, ask again. Ask something else. Just be a little bit more, I want to say, open with your question. Because I'll tell you, just for general knowledge for people, when you're asking a question, ask a question from a place in yourself that's open and receptive. Because if you pose a question like that, it's kind of cryptic, and it sort of shuts the energy down, or it kind of shuts the energy down. So just be more direct in your question to me. Nancy, may I have a card, please? Yes. Ooh. So Nancy has the Devil card. So this can, represent fear. It's also materialism. It can be lusty sex. It can also be, evil. But I'm not saying that's for you. Let me just see what it means. This is for Nancy. Okay. I feel, Nancy, that there's something about you needing to address your fears. But I don't want to say it's just one fear. I want to say it's fears in general, a need to address your fears. And then I get you're like a lightning rod. You're like a lightning rod for getting overstimulated. Okay. And so not to allow your fears to run wild. And I feel like once you make a decision, don't allow yourself to be, riddled with fears. Just allow yourself to follow through on decisions without like second guessing or having self-doubt. But this is your personal fears, I think. Okay, Lisa. But I love owls and have never seen one, and I think one flew in front of me today when I was drawing, but it was so fast. Do you know if it was an owl or a falcon? I want to say it was an owl, Lisa. That's what I feel. I mean, that's what came to me. So you might, you could do a Google search and look up owl medicine. And there are some good books on animal totems that I always, if a animal crosses my path that is not like the local rabbits or the squirrels in my neighborhood, but if it's a new animal that crosses my path, I usually look it up to see it's a message, it's a sign. Okay, so for Jamie, card. Okay, so Jamie has the Fairness card. You have the Justice. This is also Balance. This is a Libra card. And so for you, okay. I feel like this is talking about life in balance and needing to be able to balance the different areas of your life, maybe juggle better, or maybe things are not completely in balance, but it is talking about getting things in balance. And I want to say proportional, Now it's funny because I'm seeing this lady who's standing on one foot and she's doing all these different things at the same time, and she's in, she's trying to balance. Is that what? That's not what this card represents. What is it? Uh, okay. Okay, so this is, it's kind of a little bit like that picture. Balance out the way you have things organized. The way things are constructed right now are not a good balance. So that's for you. Imelda, a card, please. Okay, so you have, this is a naive card. It's emotional messages. So Imelda, for you, this can also be somebody who's naive. Okay. I want to say this is pages are usually messages and communications. And I want to say that it is a good idea to be in touch with people. It's actually not a good idea to withdraw. This is, I want to say, make sure you're communicating. And I also feel, Imelda, you being in the right place at the right time. Okay, so then we have Marion for general for next week. Oh, sorry, Marion. So you have a heartbreak or a disappointment for the next week. Okay, so this is talking about not being able to control what other people are doing. You can only control yourself. And I feel someone is going to disappoint you. And I don't think you're expecting them to disappoint you. And I also feel, you have to listen to your own heart. Yeah, don't listen to others, listen to you. All right, so Vladimir. So Vladimir, I also have, there's another disappointment card. So the important thing here is there's some cups that have turned over, but there's still some standing over here. So this is kind of like an all is not lost. And don't feel disappointed when you do your best. I also want to say this card is saying to me, savor the good times. And also, these are messages that are coming out of the card that just says, remember why you feel the way you feel. So those are all for you, Vladimir. Please, Rhonda. Okay. All right, so Rhonda. So you have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords, that's air. And that would be Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. Now, this card can also represent like lawyer. It's a professional man. It can be a policeman. It can be a doctor. And for you personally, Rhonda, he looks kind of serious. Okay. I want to say you don't have to be quite as serious. I also feel like it's almost like you're, if you look at this card, his face is kind of serious. You don't have to be so hard on yourself is what I'm getting. So that's for you. So I want to say, like, take a lighter approach with yourself. So Jamie. Okay, so you have the Lover's card. I want to say relationships are coming to the forefront for you, Jamie. And it may even take you off guard. Now, I don't know what emotional hardiness means. Okay. I'm just going to give this to you, emotional hardiness, because I feel plenty of that for you. So maybe that means that, I just heard a roll in the hay. I don't know. I feel you being able to handle your emotions, so it's strengthening when it comes to your emotions. Okay, Carol, you're very welcome. I'd be very grateful for your reading help. Thank you. I'm in a pickle. Okay, Carol. Carol, okay. Well, it's 10 after 9. I'm going to have to stop. I'll do Shanice and Venetia. Carol, I don't know that I can do anything more. I mean, you can. You are welcome to. Okay. Carol, why don't you private message me? Yeah, private message me. Okay. Shanice, what do my guides want me to know? So you have the Strength card. Sorry, I was reading on Venetia. I should be paying attention here. Strength. Notice that lemon skate is above this figure as well. So that means endless energy, eternal energy. It's okay. What I get is you are ready to make things work out for yourself. This is additional strength. I also, there's a few things that you have gotten wiser around. Okay. I just want to say you are wise. Put your best foot forward. You are wise. Emotional strength as well. And, here we have the lion. And when I looked at the lion, I thought fearless. So what do your guides want you to know? There are some strange things coming up, Shanice. But your emotional strength will handle it. Okay. So that is it for tonight. And thank you, everybody, for showing up. And so in 2 weeks, we will be going through the next, let me see, let me pull out my little, so let's see. We got through to here. So we did the spiritual and material world parents for the Fool. So now next week in 2 weeks, we're gonna do the Hierophant and the Lovers, and this is plus we will move on to. We'll be doing the Chariot and the Strength card, probably the Hermit card, and so what we'll be doing is we'll be talking about the influence of that Major Arcana card on the Fool, the soul's journey, the Fool's journey, the hero's journey. It's all the same part of the same thing. So we'll be talking about what those major arcana cards, how they impact the Fool on this journey. So have a good week, everybody. And I hope everything starts to slow down in our world out there, and pray for the people in Afghanistan, and the ones who are being resettled. And gosh, there's just so much to pray for. So I'll see you in 2 weeks, and have a good evening. Good night.